Tampa Bay Spirits presents Haunted Campfire Tales Live. Welcome. Gather around the fire. Get comfortable, but not too comfortable. The true ghost tales are about to unfold.
Hi, I'm Rob.
I'm Joan.
I'm Les.
I'm Beth.
I'm Robin. That was a short one.
It was a short one. And
Welcome to the Haunted Campfire.
yeah. And our audience hasn't come in yet.
Well, they'll get here.
Yeah, they will.
They're here in spirit.
And we're coming a week early because of the holiday next week. So that might have thrown some people off.
Yeah. Actually, so we should probably just chat amongst ourselves. And then if we just post this, that's all we'll do is post this.
Yeah, we've got somebody joining us now.
Oh, there is somebody.
Great.
Hello.
There may be others that are not shown up.
That's true. We usually find out that we had lots of people watching that didn't want to pop in and, talk. Paul Hollis is here.
Hi, Paul.
Paul Hollis said, I'm here.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul. We're glad that you're here. My goodness. Well, before the show started, I told you something I'd like to talk about before we talk about the last, investigation we did, which a lot of our audience already watched that live. A lot of people believe that on Halloween that the veil is thinner and it's easier to communicate with spirit. And I think different types of different countries have different views on that and have different times of the year. It's not necessarily on Halloween where they do believe that the veil is thinner. What do you guys think? What is your opinion on that?
I've honestly never really noticed any difference.
Right.
But I have noticed there's times when activity picks up, but I haven't noticed it around Halloween.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say I haven't either. And do you think it's because of the connotations of Halloween, where everybody's dressed up and it's a spooky night, and that's why people are looking at that particular night?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it comes from the celebration of Samhain, which is originated in Ireland with Druids and things like that, and they believed that. And it was actually a harvest thing. It was like a time of the year when they had rituals and things like that, and they believed that.
Because I know that there's All Hallows Eve, which is Halloween, and then what's the next day? All Saints
Day of the Dead, All Saints Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some
in Mexico, but All Saints Day. Yeah. So different cultures, I think, have different times of the year when they think it is a thinner veil. What were you going to say, Beth?
Well, it makes sense if they're doing rituals and they're praying for harvest, that would be a more spiritual time. And so, I would expect that during those times that they would see more activity.
Mm-hmm. But I'm with you, and both you and Robin, that we have never found it more active on Halloween. If anything, less active. It's like
you have to go to the door and answer the door a lot more. But
I know
there's always active humans out there.
Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Glad to have you.
I get very excited whenever there's a rainstorm or a thunderstorm, because that's when we pick up lots of activity. But there's lots of sizzling energy around us that it helps the spirits come through.
100%. 100%. Yes. Or when you're near a lot of limestone or quartz or running water, rivers, the activity does pick up in, because those are all conductors of spirit. Speaking of which, conductors, you know that we use a lot of instruments that the spirit needs to come near it to turn it on or off. Like we have an EMF detector, we have Gauss meters. They show how much electromagnetic, uh, what you call it, is around. I can't even name now. Anyway, but we used a spirit candle on. Can you see, guys, see that? That's on, and then this is off. And during our live podcast from May Stringer, it kept going on and off. What happened to our little magnet?
Don't have it.
Oh,
You do.
it's over here. Okay, so we cannot make this turn on or off. See, I can't do it. If I turn it quickly on and off here on the bottom, then it goes on and off. But spirit, because they're electromagnetic energy, when anything electromagnetic comes near it, or even just a magnet, it will turn this off like that. And then it can turn it on again and off. Oops. I keep doing it too long. There you go. So the spirit can come close to this and touch it and on, and then it can step away. Well, actually, then it can come close again and turn it off. So we had used that at May Stringer.
And the theory is that this is a familiar object to the older spirits, of course, and so it acts as a trigger.
Yeah.
It can be a trigger item.
Yeah, because it looks like a candle.
Yeah, they say, "Oh, it's a candle."
Yeah,
I know what that is, and they can come close to it, and they know not to touch the flame.
Right. Well, they can get near it though, so we have to tell them that you can come near it without getting burned. But for a lot of them, I think turning the flashlight on and off is difficult, and they have to be taught about all our different instruments. We had that recently, like on the last podcast, we talked about that. That we went to an old building and no one had ever investigated there before. And the business owner, who has a bookstore and a coffee shop in the building, asked us to come and investigate. And there was we picked up on a lot of spirit there. But they weren't able to interact with our equipment very well because we had to teach them from the beginning on how to use it. Whereas someplace where people go in and investigate all the time, they know how to turn things on and off, and they're,
Old hat.
easy for them to do
And
it.
they wear old hats. So, yeah.
But we did have an interesting thing happen. Les was standing in front of this display of like dog treats and collars and leashes and all that kind of stuff. And this leash attached to a collar, he walked away from it, and he was quite a bit away from it. And we were looking in his direction, and this thing jumped off of the display case and landed about, I don't know, a foot and a half away from the display case and landed on the floor. And it was securely attached.
Right. And we went over, one of our team members went over and walked back and forth and stomped on the floor and everything to make sure that it wasn't vibrations or something. And no, there was no effect. It was definitely not that. So,
yes. And those of us that are sensitive definitely sensed a lot of spirits there and learn things about them that way. But it's really good for people who don't know us and don't know what our character is like. It's good for them to be able to see physical evidence, like turning the candle on and off, or leaving a voice on an EVP, electronic voice phenomena, is when they leave a voice which you can't hear with your ears on a digital recorder, which those are fun to get.
right.
we didn't get any that night.
So anyway, a couple of weeks ago, we went on an investigation up in Brooksville, Florida, at May Stringer Museum, and it was another good time. We've been there several times, and we've always had really good results. We did a live stream, pop-up stream from there. It was on a Saturday, which is not our normal time. And we did record it and everything, so you could actually see that investigation if you go to Tampa Bay Spirits 1, the number 1.com, and just look under investigations. You can watch the whole thing. It's like an hour and a half long, I think. And we had a lot of interesting things happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
We did the Estes method, and that was the most fun, frankly.
That was a lot.
That's
of
a
fun.
place that we investigate often, and we know the spirit that is upstairs, and
Amuses us.
he's a hoot.
One of my favorite things that happened that night was we were talking about beside where I was sitting, which was further away from where the essays method was going on, but I kept getting EMF hits over and over
Yes.
and over.
Yes.
And Gary, the spirit, told us that it was the cat that was doing that. And so, a couple times I would even say, pss, 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 and it would light up. So the cat was coming close to me again. When we were finished with the Estes method and we were clearing the attic and getting ready to leave, how many of us, 3 or 4 of us, audibly heard a cat meow?
Yeah.
Oh,
About 4 of us.
Really cool.
that
And
is.
what had happened was I said, I saw a shadow move over
Yes.
there.
Yes.
And it was behind the sofa where you were sitting, or the little love seat or whatever it is. But I could see a black shadow move across. And you said, well, when you said that, my EMF detector went off. And then every time I would see it, your EMF detector would go off. And then that's when he told us, well, it's the cat. And then when we were getting ready to leave, we heard it meow. It was, and there was no real live cat up there.
But that wasn't our first encounter with that cat. A few investigations ago. Beth, you want to tell what happened?
Well, I had been there previously and I had been scratched. And there have always been reports of people getting scratched, women getting scratched. And so they thought that was Gary that was doing that. Well, that's definitely not the personality we see with Gary at all. But I asked him while we were doing the Estes method, the last time I was here, I was scratched. And he immediately responded back through Jesse, that was the cat. That was the cat. And so we had asked the docents, and they were like, oh, yeah, we definitely do have a ghost cat here. We had heard about that.
Yeah.
So
But
that was
more
really
proof,
fun.
though.
Yeah.
I was going to say, this is more proof than Gary just using the cat as a scapegoat.
exactly. Yeah, it was
That
a
was
cat.
the cat.
An interaction with the cat again. So that was really cool.
Yeah,
that was
really neat.
so funny. But the audience on our last investigation there, y'all were so helpful because, oh yeah, those of you that were there and part of the audience, you don't know this. After the investigation, we went down and we spoke with the docents and told them what had happened and what we had learned in the Estes method, because someone in the audience said, how did you die? And he said, I was shot. And we were really surprised because when we've asked him questions about, how he got to be there and all that kind of stuff, he would never answer them. And then someone else asked him where he was from. And he said he was from Memphis. Well, the docents said they knew that he'd been murdered. They knew that. He had said that, but he would never say how. But this time he did say that he was murdered. Also, he kept talking about playing around and all this kind of stuff and talking about the bed a lot.
A lot. He was talking
Yeah.
about
I mean,
I'm over here. I'm on the bed.
I'm on the bed. I'm right behind Tess.
Look.
I'm
Come
on
join
the
me.
bed. And we're like,
The bed's moving.
yeah, the bed. Can you see the bed moving? Look, I'm moving the bed. And we're like, okay. And he said, and he was talking about playing around and everything. Well, come to find out, there had been some evidence that he'd been murdered by the husband of someone he was having an affair with. But what he kept talking about that night, if you guys remember, was he kept talking about his best friend
Yes.
and how it was rough. It was really rough. This is tough. And oh boy, I mean, he got really serious and really down. And so the docent said, oh my gosh, do you think he was having an affair with his best friend's wife? And he shot him. The husband shot him. And that could be what happened. We'll have to ask him the next time we're there.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever get like a time frame from when he lived?
We think maybe he was a vaudeville actor, but he was talking like he was from the 40s the other night. But if he was from vaudeville times, like the late 1800s, early 1900s, he's been around a long time, and so he would have. Sometimes he talks like the kids talk today too. So maybe a late 1800s, early 1900s.
I was just curious. I was curious too, if you could. Well, you still don't know. You know where he's from, but you wouldn't know where he was murdered, or was he? I was thinking to look up and see if you could find anything else.
We
about
do
him.
want to look him
Yeah.
up. That's
Yeah,
what we
that'd
were
be great.
thinking, that we would be able to
If
look
we get
him
a
up.
little more information, maybe we'll be able to
Yeah.
do that next time.
Yes, and verify who he was. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we found that most of the spirits that we ask, if they know what year it is or when they died or how they died, they don't want to talk about it. They don't
Mhm.
answer. Most of them. It's very rare.
Yeah.
But as a matter of fact, the time before that we investigated there, the time before, well, no, not the time before, but a year ago when we were there. When was it that we had all those people, like Steve came and his friend, and
That was
That
in
was
May.
just-
that was
That-
just in May?
Yeah.
Okay, when we were in there in May, he was talking about what was he was talking about all the he wouldn't tell how many dead people were there. He wouldn't say. Remember that? He would not talk about it. No matter how many times we asked him how many spirits are here, he wouldn't say.
That's interesting.
And this time he knew how many of us, the living people, were there. And he said
5 of
there
you.
were 5 of us.
And he was right. There was 5 of us up in the.
He was
Yeah.
really quiet when we first started. And we were in different positions than we normally are in the attic. And the guys were closer to the area that he comes from.
Yeah.
But the minute that Joan started talking and asking him questions, he recognized her and he was like, "Oh, it's you." And he started again with the, "You're my friend. We're like family."
Like family, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting too.
I love him.
He's
I
great.
really love him. He is awesome. It's you.
and he knows that. He knows how you feel.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. I'm on the bed. I'm moving it. Okay, Gary.
Thanks for sharing.
That's how you got murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. You haven't learned your lesson yet. No wonder you're still here. Yeah, he's great though. But we don't let him come home with us.
Right.
I made that mistake in Puerto Rico one time. Somebody came home with me.
I want that.
That's never good.
No, even no matter how friendly and nice they are, it's like, stay in your own spot there, stay in your own place. When we had our apartment in Miami and we were traveling back and forth between here and there, um, we used to have a lot of activity in that apartment. We would have what we called pass-throughs because they seemed to just walk through. And I think after Andrew, that so many people had died that their bodies were never
Hurricane Andrew.
Hurricane Andrew, yeah. That they oh see, I'm from Florida, so if I say Andrew, everybody in Florida knows what the heck I'm talking about.
Not President Andrew Jackson.
No,
No.
those of you or my cousin Andrew or something, it's yeah, after Andrew, wow, we couldn't get rid of them. No, yeah, Hurricane Andrew was devastating to the part of Miami that we were in, just
Yeah, South
devastating.
Florida there, yeah.
And a lot of people died that were never found and
Or accounted for.
and just a lot of them. And so there's a lot of activity there, and a lot of it is just passing through. They don't stay long or have anything to say. But the most interesting thing for us was I saw and you saw a shadow figure walk from the wall where the next apartment was. It came through the wall, walked
Through our living room.
through our living room.
Kitchen and living room.
Yeah, through the kitchen, through the living room, out on the balcony, and was gone. And the next day, we found out the man living in the apartment over there had passed away. And
Oh,
yeah,
he was
and we saw him
leaving.
leave. That was pretty cool.
My great aunt and uncle, I think they were living in Brooklyn, and they kept seeing a lot of things just like go through the bedroom all the
Yeah.
time until one time something stopped at the bottom of the bed, like it was warning them there was a fire. It was almost like it let them, I guess it let them know, and they got up and there was a fire in the building.
Wow, that is
Yeah,
so cool.
That's way cool.
Yeah. It was like they all just kept going, except for this one's like, get out. Which was so if the others were like just residual, I guess that one wasn't. I don't really know because it's something they talked about, but it happened when they were younger, so I was probably not even born yet.
Sounds like they had a portal, or they were near a place that there was a lot of passers-by.
Yeah.
My mom lived. My parents lived 2 doors away from a funeral home. And we did investigation at their house because they kept seeing something, but we couldn't determine. It was just like nothing stuck. They were just passing through.
Yep.
But so close to that funeral home, I imagine that's what it was stemming from.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, it's amazing to me how many people that we've had tell us that when they were a child, that their grandmother or grandfather came and sat down on the bed and talked to them and said, I won't be seeing you anymore, but I love you, and all that sort of thing. And then when they would get up in the morning, their parents tell them that their grandparent died during the night. And that happens a lot. So I think spirit interacts with people a lot more than we realize.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to talk about it.
Right. Or they think, oh, I imagined it, or I dreamt it last night. Or
Yes.
They don't want people to think they're crazy, too.
Yes.
There's fear factor.
I think it's easier to talk about nowadays. I think people accept it more. Yeah.
I'll be back momentarily.
All right. The rat's leaving the ship.
But we're not sinking.
Listen, folks, we've been married almost 50 years. So I'm kidding. It's a long time.
It's funny. Somebody told me once they were approaching their 30th or 35th anniversary. I said, I will never have one of those because I've been married twice. And like, if I got married today, I'd be in my hundreds before I reached that. Like, yeah, I just had, I had like a 10-year shelf life.
Have we ever told you that we got married on Thanksgiving? I mean, on Halloween?
No.
And my grandmother got married on Halloween, and
Really?
her birthday was on Halloween.
Wow.
I know.
That's funny. I got married the first time on Friday the 13th. And the neighbors were like,
That
I
was
may
a
have mentioned this. We started off, we got married in the backyard first in like a ceremony that
Mhm.
we performed, and then later the mayor married us in the house. But because it was Friday the 13th, and I had like this black sundress on with little flowers on it. They were like, they were out there worshiping the devil. I'm like, no, we were out there
Never.
getting married.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. It just happened to fall on Friday the 13th. It's no big deal,
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
How people.
We were in a church that it was well, it was a Christian church, but it wasn't like Baptist or Methodist or anything like that. And it was this whole movement that came from, if you've ever heard of the Jesus people, that's what it came from, and that's where we came from in Christianity. And anyway, um, we had neighbors down the end of our street that owned a lot of property, and they were in our church. And so we had a big barbecue there. And I mean, he had like tractors and all kinds of stuff. And so there were like little hay rides going on and all that kind of stuff. And they, we were roasting lamb on a pit, in a big pit on a, what do you call those things?
Spit on a
Spit.
spit. Yeah.
In a pit on a spit, yes.
When they prepared it, it was done the
Yep.
right way.
Yep.
Right?
And so then the rumor went around town that we were Satan worshipers. And that's what we were there offering sacrifices. And we're like, because we were roasting lamb. But people think that you telling that story reminded me of that. It's like,
It's like,
really?
why are you thinking that? You know what? Like, that's
Mhm.
so bizarre.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know,
it
if
is.
you were, like, I had flowers in my hands.
Right, right. Well, and we had kids on hay rides and stuff, and people playing, you know, badminton out in the yard. It's
Oh,
like,
you bad people.
it was really, really fun. We were like, oh boy, this is great. But I think things like that too, people, you know, people get funny ideas about spirit too, the same kind of thing. And I don't know about you guys, but like if we had a spirit in the house or anything like that, it wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't scare me. But I think it would scare and bother a lot of people. But also,
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I've set up boundaries. There are things that spirit can do to me or around me that I'm good with. But there are things that I do not want to happen. I don't want to wake up and have somebody's face in my face waiting for me to wake up to say something. That's a no-no.
Or doing jump
Yeah,
scares.
that's not good.
Yeah, jump scares would not be good.
Jump scares are not good either. So
Ooh.
no jump scares. Though Gary did that once. They've got
Yeah.
him on tape where he audibly yelled, "Boo," when the investigators walked into the room. I mean, you could hear him say boo. It wasn't the Estes method. He thought he was really funny. He was really proud of himself.
Let's just scare them.
It didn't
I would-
scare them. They all burst out laughing.
I bet.
Gary, did you just say boo? And he's like, yes.
Gary had some intel on us that he was talking about when we were there.
Really?
He knew and repeated Les's email address.
He did.
That's right.
He
Did.
said,
What else did
he
he say
said
about
it.
email? There's something else he said about Les. I can't remember.
He did. He said something else about Les, and that was through the Estes method in this last time. So you can watch it on our Facebook page, right? And,
No, on our website.
On the
You can
website,
watch it on
okay.
our website,
Tampa Bay Spirits 1.com.
and you'll hear him if you want to know Les's email.
But if you get it, send Les an email and
An
say, hey,
email, yeah.
I heard Gary, say that. And what else did he say about you, Les? He said something else.
I remember.
look,
He was really interested
your
in
social security number or something.
That would not be good.
Well, and what we think has happened is that the docents, it was somebody a little bit different, and they weren't sure if it was us coming, because when Les set up the investigation, he had just given his name and his email address, and they weren't associating him with our group. So I think that they had been having a conversation and about that he overheard, and he decided to repeat later.
Yeah, because he said, because the docents said to me, and I don't know if they said the same thing to you, but one of them came up to me and she said, well, you can't put that under there. Next time you have to say who you are, because we didn't know that it was you. When we're so happy that it's you. Hi, DG. And so she said your email address to me out loud, like 3 times, because she said, you shouldn't put Les, you should say Tampa Bay Spirits. And we said, yeah, we normally do, but I said, what's the difference? You're still happy that we're here. She said, yeah, but we would have been happier to know it was you coming.
Not just some guy named Les.
Yeah.
And some randos. Yeah, we really had a good time because it was just the 5 of us. And usually it's really crowded with usually a whole bunch of people want to come with us, and it was just the 5 of us, and so we had a really relaxed, fun.
It was a little different. It was a different experience.
It was a different experience. I had wanted to talk to Frank again, but
The spirit,
the spirit Frank,
not just some guy.
not that, not some random guy Frank, but the spirit named Frank, because he talked to us quite a bit the time before that in May, and that was really interesting too. And actually, Beth has pointed this out a few times, that Gary said nothing until after Frank had said everything that he needed to say, and he had waited, even though we had tried speaking with him. He had waited. And Frank communicated through the flashlight by turning it on and off, doing a yes and no thing. Do you want to?
The former homeowner, and I think that Gary was showing him respect. by letting him speak first.
Because Gary came in the trunk
from Memphis.
From Memphis. We didn't know. You want to show DG and Iboda how this works? All right. Here's the Here's the magnet.
Did you turn it on?
No.
What? Okay. All right, so we have this candle and the spirit, who's mostly EMF. This is our magnet. Actually, it's also a Bigfoot, but it's a magnet. It's a refrigerator magnet. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah.
But the magnet, if a magnet, when I put my hand up there, it stays on. This candle stays on. But if the spirit comes up close, it turns it off.
Or it turns
it back on. So the spirit, when the spirit comes close to it, it can communicate using this. And so it's a new piece of equipment that we have, and it's more familiar. It's like a familiar object for the older spirits. They see a candle, they know what a candle is generally, and so if they're older spirits, they may not know what an electronic device is. We're always having to explain to them, come close to the light. It's not going to hurt you. All that, and but they don't know what recorders are or anything else. So this is more of a trigger object to enhance the communication. We had some good success with it a couple of weeks ago, and hopefully it'll turn out to be a good tool in the toolbox.
Well, we do communicate with them a lot and had a lot of success with the flashlight turning on and off. But I think this will be easier for them than trying to turn the...
Right.
I personally have a lot of fun with the flashlight because when they turn it off in a way that no human can. Believe me, we've all tried. So I love that. It gives me a zing every time I see them do it. It's just like, oh, they did it like I've never seen it before. But this, I think, will be easier for them. And
all they have to do is come close to it and touch it. So
we want to communicate with them. So that's the whole point, is communicate with them and learn from them and try to understand what they're doing here, why they're here, and it's been
it's a
years.
yes or no thing, right? Just like the flashlight. It's yes or no, just like with the flashlight.
It would have to be yes or no. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. Haven't talked to you for a long time. That's Paul from down in Australia.
Host of Down Under Interviews.
Yeah.
He's an author. Also, he's been on other podcasts when we had our other podcasts.
Yeah, we've had him on several times on our show.
Quite a few times, actually.
We should be having him on again here pretty soon.
Yeah, he's got another book coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a special podcast for that. Because we're not busy enough as it is. We're going to an opera house, and we'll try and do a live podcast for that for those of you that are just joining us. When is that, Les?
January 3rd.
January 3rd.
Okay.
All right. Then we'll try and do a...
We're going to do a live thing.
All right.
Is that in Florida?
Yep.
Yes. Arcadia.
Well, you're going to come down and join us?
She was kind of hoping it would be near her. I have always wanted to investigate an opera house and have never had the opportunity. I like doing old theaters and opera houses. I never got the chance with the opera house. I've called Tampa Theater so many times trying to get our team in that I think they now have it blocked when they hear my voice.
So many people have gone to these opera houses, on a regular basis, passing through, acting, watching, it's just, they've been full of life. So I think we may be able to find some pretty cool things happening.
Well, Hey, George.
Hi, George.
We're talking about, we've been talking a lot, George, about all the stuff that we learned because of you and Paul Hollis and Marjorie asking a lot of questions when we did the live podcast from May Stringer, and you guys interacted with Gary, and that was really a lot of fun. And now we're going to go to an opera house in January, and we'll do a live podcast from there too. So
then in March, we're going to go to the old Clay County Jail up near St. Augustine, and that's going to be fun. We'll try to do a live pop-up from there too. Now, the one we did was our first live pop-up. Well, no, we did one. Well, that wasn't a pop-up. We had that all planned out. The one in Texas. But this one, this is the first time we used our phones and our equipment there. So it's a little rough around the edges, but hang in there. Don't.
George says, try the 1812 Opera House in Galveston. Oh, we would love to do that if they'd let us in. Is it supposed to be haunted, George? I think all opera houses are haunted. That's just my thought. There is absolutely no reason why I think that.
That's because nobody knows where opera went to.
But I think that. But Beth and Les have been there before shopping at an antique store, right?
Yeah, they have antiques in there.
And Beth said it was really supercharged with spirit activity. So I'm excited to go there and ask them some questions, find out who's there. I mean,
yeah.
Hasn't every opera house had a fire at some time or another where someone tragically died?
Well, they used to be able to smoke in them.
Yeah.
George says supposed to be, yes. They have ghost tours there.
Oh, good. Somebody else I can harass and say, we don't want to do a ghost tour. We want to do an investigation. Will you let us in?
Let us in.
Tampa Theater does ghost tours too. And they say, you can come in the ghost tour. And we go, we don't want to go on a ghost tour. We want to do an investigation, set up our cameras, set up our equipments. We want to settle in for 3 or 4 hours. Just take over. So, but we will be able to do that at the Heard Opera House in January. Yep. And then we're going to Clay County Jail and Courthouse in March. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of dark. And it'll be interesting because there's some very friendly spirits there, but there's some dark.
I think a lot of bad things happen there.
Yeah.
Well, we know the sheriff was gunned down in his in an interrogation room. So that's, if nothing else, that's dark enough,
Yeah. So the first time that we went there, you and you had been there before, right, Beth?
No, that was our first time.
That was your okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we all met in front of it before, but we had taken our camper down and we camped like 45 minutes away. And I had laid down in the afternoon just to rest before we were going to go there and be there, for hours at night. And as I was resting, this spirit came towards me and I could see him really clearly. And he was wearing this black hat that had a wide brim. And it almost looked like you might see like Italian priests would wear these kind of black hats with a dome. It looked almost like that. And he had on a white shirt and a black suit. And I could see the cuffs of his white shirt and his white shirt. And then I kept saying to Chris and then everybody else that, Rob, and Chris Rob.
Okay, you can roll on here.
I was saying to Rob, he's like, not the subject again. There's something around his neck. It's like a bolo or it's a ribbon or something like that. And so I was telling the rest of the team when we all met in front what had happened, and I saw him standing on these steps. And there's a jail and then there's a courthouse. And so I saw him standing on these steps with columns on either side. And so I thought, oh, that must be at the courthouse. And so I told him I saw him standing on the steps in front of the courthouse because I hadn't seen the courthouse or the jail yet. And and described how he looked. And he was very gaunt looking, very narrow, gaunt face. And so they suggested, well, ask the docent if he knows who that would be. And so the docent came out to, let us in and tell us what we could and couldn't do and all that kind of stuff. And I said, this is the person that I saw. And actually I said, I saw him standing on those steps over there, which I now realized were part of the jail once I got there, not part of the courthouse. And he said, come on in here. I'm going to show you a picture. We walked in to the office and there is this huge picture of that exact same guy, and the ribbon bolo was a bow tie. Duh. But I just couldn't see it. It was crazy. I mean, it was exactly like I described, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And he had to come to me, and the steps that I saw him standing on was the house that was attached to the jail where the sheriff and his family lived. And he was gunned down at the age of 36 in the interrogation room. He already had 6 children though, and one of his sons then became the sheriff when he grew up at the same place where his dad had been gunned down. It's so interesting. But tell them some of the stuff that you experienced there.
I experienced a jail cell, and there was a woman in the jail cell that was cowering and hiding, there was a bathroom attached. This cell actually had a bathroom, and I saw her there, and she, I believe, had been sexually assaulted there at that jail. And we came to find out later that cell was special. That was one that was only for women. So the others were for men, and there was just one special cell that was for women, and it had a bathroom in it. So, yeah.
And then Rob and I were doing the Estes method in the courthouse while the rest of you, because this was in the middle of COVID, while the rest of you were investigating over at the jail. And so Rob has on the noise canceling headphones, and he's listening to all the white noise, so he can't hear anything I'm saying. And actually, we did it so that he was way away from me in one part of the room and I was in the other, and I was asking the questions very quietly. And he says, I hear whistling. When he said, I hear whistling, I hear whistling in the hall right outside the door where I'm sitting. There's no one else in this building except us. We had gone through the whole building. There was nobody there, just the two of us. And I'm like, and there's not even any other team member there where I can go, oh my God.
And then I said, it sounds like this. And I did the same exact tune.
They both whistled together the same tune.
I followed the tune.
That he had just,
could hear the spirit.
The spirit had just whistled that tune. And so he's saying, and he doesn't know that I'm losing my mind, right? And he's saying, it sounds like this. And then I hear both of them whistling the exact same thing. And I'm like,
never heard anything like that.
Oh my God. Yes, it was
insane.
That was crazy. We're going back there in March.
Don't know what it meant.
No.
Don't know what any of that means.
No.
It was like weird, just crazy.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't get that person to say who they were, what their name was, what they were doing there. It was just crazy. Yeah, I did. I asked
whoever's whistling, please tell us your name.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Could have been somebody that was sentenced to, had done something wrong, and like some criminal of some sort. And
Well, it was right outside the present sheriff's office.
that's true.
So we were wondering if maybe it was the sheriff walking through whistling, but
Could have been.
I don't know. That was crazy too. I'd like to have something like that happen again too. Oh, and then in the courthouse we got a lot of activity too, didn't we? When we went, yeah,
Yes. Mhm.
when
A
we
lot
went
of
up
kids off the REM pod, and there's a lot going on.
in the courtroom, in the actual
The
courtroom for
courtroom.
the judge, yeah,
Yeah.
which is in the courthouse. But yeah, it was really interesting. There was, I mean, even like besides the REM pod going off, we would hear people hitting the chairs that were in there, that like benches
Oh,
that they
yeah.
had.
Mhm.
So so yeah, that should be fun. But there is one
Excited.
part of that jail that is really, really dark. And I don't know what happened there, but that was that last jail cell
Mhm.
back in the corner. Ugh.
Anyway, we're going back there so we can find out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I wonder if they'd be upset if I brought sage and Palo Santo. Sorry, you can't have any more ghosts. We made them all leave.
It's a jailbreak.
They don't usually like that.
Paul Hollis said, "Was that your first jail cell?" You mean that we investigated? I've never been in jail, but it wasn't the first jail that we had
No,
been in. But
Not for us.
no, not for us.
but it was the
I
most
think it
active.
was our first investigation together, though.
Hmm.
It was.
It was, and it was the first time we had investigated a jail. The four of us together with the rest of the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when they didn't know what they were getting into when they said, "Yeah, you can join the team." We had our own team that was just, our family, the two of us and two of our daughters, and Jess, that and Patricia, which some of you know probably from different podcasts. But um, yeah, we thought, we'd really like to get in touch with some other people that are doing this and see if we could join forces. And that's how we met Les and Beth and the rest of the team. And they decided, yeah, you can come along if you want to. Now they're like, oh my God, what did we do?
I don't think so.
What have we started?
So no, we've all investigated jails before, but none has been.
Nothing this active.
None have I ever seen that was this active. Actually, it was pretty active. Georgia Smuke says, "I thought Deborah was a ghost one time, but she just had night cream on her face." Deborah is his third wife.
His favorite one, I think.
His favorite one to make fun of because he
Yeah.
divorced her, and now he has the magnificent Nadine, who he will never divorce because she's an angel on earth.
And she's taking good care of him.
And she is, and we love her so much. But he makes fun of poor Deborah all the time. If she's ever watching it, I'm sorry, Deborah.
Well, we are coming close to an hour here.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Well, anybody in the audience have questions before we go that we can answer? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
If you want to see a live investigation, what we do, go to our Tampa Bay Spirits 1.com website and look at the investigations tab. And right on the first one there, is our pop-up investigation we just did 2 weeks ago. So,
and a lot of the audience asked questions of the spirit that we were talking to. We've talked about all night, Gary. And again, let's explain the Estes method. The Estes method is when one person has on a blindfold and noise canceling headphones and is just listening to white noise. And over that white noise, the spirit can talk. And
can use those
we will ask questions that, of course, the person with the headphones on can't hear the questions, and then the spirit answers. And it's amazing to me always what we hear.
Some really interesting things.
George said, I want to ask that ghost more questions. Can he see colors? Does he communicate with other ghosts and more stuff like that? We want to ask him those too. And a lot of the questions that we have asked him in the past that he never answered before, when you guys in the audience asked the questions, he answered. And I think because we are pretty sure he was a vaudeville actor, as soon as we said there's an audience and they're asking questions, Gary was like, da, 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 da. And he was on fire that night.
Sure was.
So, yeah, we'd love to have you ask him more questions. Like, what's his last name? What year was he born?
We would like to find him in research.
So we can research him, darn it. More than just Memphis, But and two, if you watch when we're at the Opera House, we might have the exact same thing because those are all actors and stuff there. So
yeah,
they know they have an audience. They're gonna.
The person I talked to late last week, is a member of a team over in Arcadia, and she claims that it's outrageous, the activity that comes there. So
that's really
looking
cool.
Forward to it.
We might have to go there more than once to develop that kind of rapport where we'll get a lot of activity, but that's awesome. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
It's an opera house.
Yay.
Check something off my bucket list.
Of course, it's also an antique store, which would lend to having a lot of spirits in that building also.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. We've had ever since we've been married. So we've had it like 50 years, and it was an antique when we bought it. It's a mirror frame. The mirror is new. I can tell the mirror is new. It's not the age of the frame, but the frame is like probably close to 200 years old now. And I was so excited because I was sure it had to have something attached to it. Nah, it doesn't. It's a dud.
Every time we look at it, we're there.
We're there.
It works anyway.
We also have 2 antique steamer trunks, and nobody was attached to them. Yeah, I know. Bummer, right?
Where we are wishing that we had ghosts attached to our stuff.
People are trying to get rid of them. Yeah.
Most people I won't even go there because I might get something.
Me, I'm like, are you there? Is there somebody there? No. Yeah, like I said, I don't mind if we have spirits in the house. I really don't. They have to respect our boundaries and our rules. So like I said, I really don't want to wake up and see somebody like this peering down at me, waiting for me to wake up to talk to them,
Been there. That is not fun.
No, it's startling.
And then trying to go back to sleep after that happens, never happened. You can't do it.
It would be bad enough if a live person was doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either.
Hey, but make my face, please.
Right.
I've had covers pulled off of me and stuff like that. You
Sorry.
can feel. Well, yeah, you've done that too. But spirits, pulled like blood cover up and stuff like that, but not staring me in the face or anything
I
like
had
that.
them stare at me in the face, like leaning over me and being close to my face, and I don't like that at all.
No. And I've
That
had
was
spirits.
I've never had that happen, but I wouldn't want it to.
that was at
No.
Myrtle in Louisiana,
Myrtle
the
Plantation.
Myrtle Plantation.
Was it at Myrtle Plantation? You
Yes,
slept
we
at Myrtle Plantation?
did in the nursery.
Yeah, we slept in the nursery.
Whoa. Are
Wow.
you kidding?
No,
That's pretty.
I want to go to Myrtle Plantation.
it was very active.
Yeah.
Mhm. It was
Yeah.
cool.
I know it is. I know too much about that place, so it would be hard for me to know what I was getting there. You know what I mean?
Well, we debunked one of the things one of the claims is that the chandelier in the nursery swings, and they say that the kids are swinging on it. But I noticed from whenever Les and the man that works there went and got our luggage and brought it upstairs, when they were on the stairs, the chandelier was swinging.
Yeah.
It caused some kind of vibration and made it swing.
They wouldn't let us take any kind of pictures,
They
flash
have a
or
lot of
not.
rules.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules.
Wow.
Yeah, we couldn't do anything.
Mhm.
Huh.
We were able to walk through and investigate, but just in the public areas and of course in our room. But yeah, we couldn't take pictures or anything. So
Wow. So you couldn't
Really
set up any static cameras or anything like that?
no, only if it were in
Oh,
our
cool.
room only.
That's
Well, what we haven't done as a group is Fort Mifflin, which we did many years ago. And I think you guys would really like that because we did get a lot of activity there. And they don't care.
It's in Philadelphia.
It's in Philadelphia. And they don't care. I know. Robin goes, I'm in. They don't mind how many pictures you take or anything like that. You can do a pop-up live thing there. And I mean, it's first of all, it's a beautifully preserved old fort. So that's wonderful. It's just wonderful being there. But secondly, there's a lot of activity, a lot of physical activity, like getting. I know they flicked Jessie's pants. She was sitting on the ghost's bed, and he actually flicked her pants, and she was like, "Okay, I'll move." And like throwing rocks. That sounds bad, but it isn't. It was more an attention getting thing than aiming at your head or something. They just, threw rocks, so they rolled through.
Basically.
Yeah, well, bigger than a pebble, but wasn't aimed at anyone or anything like that. And
it wasn't malicious.
No, it wasn't malicious. But then we were in one room. It was Trish, Jess, and I, and the docent there had said to us that a tour group with children during the day had come through, and in that room, a little 8-year-old boy had taken a picture with his cell phone, which, what kid has a cell phone at 8, but okay. And he got a picture of a pirate ghost, and half of him was transparent and half looked like a person. And so the mother was very disturbed and actually came and spoke to them and said, what is this? What is going on? Because he was just doing a tour of the fort with the school group. He wasn't doing a ghost tour. He was only 8. And they said that a pirate had been kept there, So Trish and Patricia and I went into that room and we wanted to talk to him. So we were asking him to talk, and we had all kinds of equipment set out all over the whole room. And we were there for 45 minutes and there's like nothing. We couldn't sense anything. We couldn't feel anything. None of the equipment was going off. And so then I do not believe in provoking. I do not want anyone to hear this and think that provoking is good, because it isn't. I did this to be funny with Trish and Trisha, and with Trish and Trisha, right? With Trish and Jesse. And I was being funny and I said, "Oh, the big pirate can't even make a few lights light up," like that. Oh my God. Every piece of equipment went off in that room at the same time. And feel you could feel the anger in the room. So we are all like, so I said, I'm really sorry. I didn't even know that you were here. I'm sorry. No disrespect. I was just trying to be funny with my daughters. I really didn't mean to upset you. And all the equipment's still going off too, right? And so Trish goes, and this is my favorite thing that she's ever said, ever in her whole life when we were in an investigation, because I really almost died when she said it. I mean, I couldn't get up off the floor. I was laughing so hard. So Trish goes, "Oh, well, we're really happy that you're here and you're interacting with us. Did you have a big boat?" And when she said that, everything went off again.
You probably thought, can you be any more patronizing, lady?
Only a little.
Oh, that was crazy. That was really crazy. We were like, just like, oh my God. And we were in another room and there was this young man. He was probably 19 or 20, and he was on the spectrum. It's a very sweet young man though. And he was with his dad. And after we had been in the same room as they were while we were investigating, he said to his dad, "I want to go with them everywhere they go." And so the father goes, "Well, they may not want you to do that." But we said, "No, you can come with us and stuff." So we go into this one room where they had said to us that there was a man in there who had been imprisoned, and he had been imprisoned for rape, and that he loved women with blonde hair, because that's, and he would often pull their hair. So at that time, I had really long hair and I had it pulled back in a ponytail. And so we go in that room and we sit down and we're asking questions and stuff. And the young man, and honestly, he didn't know what he was saying. He was like, "Do you like her? Do you want to pull her hair?" And I'm like,
Thanks for volunteering.
I know. And then he said, "Do you hate her? Do you want to hurt her?" And his dad goes, "Do not say that." I'm like, "Oh, that was an interesting night." We were there most of the night till like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, but it was really funny. It was an investigation where you could go with who was there? Let's see, Amy and Adam, I think, were there. Yeah. From Kindred Spirits, but they weren't in Kindred
Steve
Spirits then.
Gonzalez.
Steve Gonzalez was
Josh
there.
was there too, right?
Josh Gates was there. John Zaffis was there. Cindy Williams was there. I'm trying to think of who else was there.
Quite a few.
Dave Tango. He's so sweet. Oh my gosh. He is such a nice guy. He really is. Steve Gonsalves came in a room, sat down with us, and talked for 45 minutes. And then he said, "Oh, I suppose I should go so other people can ask me questions." And then the bell rang and he goes, "Oops." because it was over. But that was a lot of fun. He really is a teacher. He likes to teach, and he's really interesting, you know. Yeah, there was somebody else there too.
Yeah.
I don't remember who else, but the Blue Man Group was there.
What are you doing?
That's a little
That's
different.
random, right? They were there investigating. They weren't all looking blue. They were looking like
They
themselves.
were very sad.
And one of them said to me, "Do I know you?" And I said, "No." And he said, "I think I do. I think I know you." And I said, "No." So then he asked me all these places. Were you there? Were you there? Did you investigate here? Did you And I kept saying, "No, no, I don't know you." And then we were talking some more, and he said, "Where are you from?" And so we said, "We're from Tampa." And he goes, uh, "Did you fly in today on such and such a flight?" And we said, "Yes." And he goes, "That's where I know you from. We were from
Surprise!
Do I know you? So you don't really know me. We just flew in on the same plane." That was quite an interesting investigation, actually, now that I think about it. There was a young, like maybe revolutionary type spirit that would pop up and look at you through this hole in the wall. That was quite disconcerting because he would be all white. Yeah. Anyway, that was before we met you guys, and
Yeah, we'd love to go.
to Fort Mifflin. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great. It's
Yes.
beautiful. It's beautiful, historical, and it's also very, very
And
active.
near Robin.
And near
near
Rock.
me. Yes.
And there's
Years
so
ago.
many haunted places in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
And years ago, I went on, it was like a big group thing investigating. It was put on by some Delaware group, and they had a bunch of people to go and investigate Port Delaware at night. And I thought nothing's going to happen. There's like 100 people here, but I went because I went with my goddaughter, and so it started to pour. Like we were in the middle of I guess is it the bay there? I don't know, but it was pouring and the boats are rocking and we're all getting soaked and everybody gets off and they all start heading in. And it's like just all these people, just tons and tons of people. So I slowed down and I remember my goddaughter, she went ahead. I don't know if somebody else was with us, but I slowed down and I was like, I'm just gonna let you guys all go. And hopefully nobody tells me I can't be by myself. And I just stopped. And I stopped and I leaned up against, I think it was a wooden door. And I was just like standing there, just trying to get a feel for the place. And one of the people that was putting the thing on came up to me and he was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I said, nothing. I said, there's so many people, I can't really anticipate being able to see or hear or feel anything. I said, but right here, I'm getting this really strong sensation of a lot of activity behind me. I said, what's back behind that door? He goes, oh, that was like one of the busiest places in the fort. That was the kitchens. I'm like, I said, can I stay here? He goes, yeah, 5 minutes. They really wanted everybody to stay together. So it wasn't really conducive to investigating because, there were 2 or 3 boatloads of people that got off. But but I've always heard that place, that there's a lot of activity there. So, but I don't know that they let anybody in except for things like that. It'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I mean,
Because they're not that far apart.
they might let you do a private investigation.
Yeah, I'll try and see if I can find out because it's not that far because I don't know, maybe I don't want to lie through my teeth and say I know exactly, but it's not that far out of Philadelphia at all because
Yeah.
it's at the upper part of Delaware.
Yeah.
So I'll check because then if you guys come up, you can maybe do that
I
too.
think there's a lot of history in Pennsylvania, And then I think that there's a lot of limestone too, which is
Yes,
very
there are
conducive.
limestone quarries. If you come out of my house and take a right and a left, you pass. There are actually lime kilns where people were getting the lime out of the soil around here and heating it up to powder in the kilns. And they're just in the sides of the hills going all the way up the road.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot.
And that's very conducive to spirit activity, limestone. Yeah. The only other thing would be better if was a place full of quartz.
Quartz, yeah.
That'd be too. We should let everybody
we
go.
Wrap it up here. We won't be having a podcast for December because of the holidays. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
And Happy New
and
Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll be back again the last Thursday in January. Watch for that. But at the beginning of January, we're going to have a live pop-up investigation. In at the Opera House. So watch for that. We'll get it advertised a week before, and hope you can join us.
Yeah, that'll be really fun because you'll be able to see us when we're investigating a place that we don't know anything about and we've never investigated before. So it's different.
We got some new equipment and some new lights and all sorts of stuff, and we've done it once now, so I think we can probably refine it a little bit and not be quite as choppy.
We do. We bought an Ovilus, so we've got the Ovilus to use that you guys haven't seen us use. We didn't use it at.
And we've got a new full spectrum light too on the camera that we're going to be using. So
that's like Les's.
That's just like Les's, yeah. Got a cameras.
All the cool kids have them.
There you go.
Yeah, we didn't like ours, so we had to upgrade to like what Les has.
Yeah, actually. So anyway, join us.
That's called Ovilus envy.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds all right.
The Ovilus was, I've never trusted it. And then we saw somebody investigating somewhere. I think it was Amy and Adam were on Mackinac Island, and they used it. And they really got some good stuff off of it. So it was on sale at Ghost Stop, which if you guys ever want to buy ghost hunting equipment, that's where all the teams go to buy it. All the cool kids buy their stuff at Ghost Stop. So we should get a discount using their name on our podcast.
We should. Yeah.
Never mind how much equipment we've all bought there.
To give us
they like to sponsor us.
I know. I would like the lights that you can put down and that it's,
well,
electromagnetic.
They could give us a flare to use, right?
Yeah.
And we can demonstrate it for them.
Yeah. Okay. We went investigating with this pastor one time, Chad Morin, Morin. I don't know. Motrin is an aspirin, isn't it? I think his name is Morin. And they had lent him a FLIR, which at that time was $25,000. And he said to me, "Here, will you take this and use this?" And I'm like, "Are you sure you want to let me use it?" He said, "Yeah." So that was really fun to use a FLIR because we could see right through the walls. When you're investigating an old building, you may not want to see what's in the walls. Not because there's something spooky in there, like dead spirits, but there's live animals in there. And you're kind of like, oh.
And the FLIR loves to find live animals.
Yes.
but it's good to know because then if you're hearing certain noises that it could be animals.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. An interesting thing happened there. Rob had a recorder going, a digital recorder. I did. Chad did. And a bunch of people did. And we're in this one room. Yeah, that was a different investigation. This was in Savannah at the Blue Moon or something like that.
Blue Moon.
Yeah, the Blue Moon. restaurant, and we all heard something. And Chad said, "What did you hear?" And Rob and I had heard like or something like that. Somebody else said, "Oh no, it was a camera going off," and somebody else said it was something else. And he said, "Let's, replay our recorder." And on my recorder, his recorder, and Chad's recorder, we all got a voice saying, "I am here."
Wow.
Yeah.
It was great.
But
cool.
audibly,
about
it
that.
didn't sound like that.
Right.
No,
But on the recorder, you could definitely hear him say, "I am here." And Chad was like, "That is so cool." Yeah. So there was definitely somebody there and wanted to communicate. So we had fun that night too. We've done a lot of fun stuff, come to think about it. I forgot about all that stuff. That's pre Tampa Bay Spirits. So I think I put that in the closet, forgot all about it, but shouldn't have, because pretty interesting. Those are actually places we could go back to, you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
We haven't been there in like 15, 20 years.
right. Okay. Well, maybe we should close.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll wish everybody a happy new year too at this point.
You already did.
No, I didn't say that. I would see you. I didn't say happy new year. But anyway, we'll see you in January. Either at the beginning of January or the end of January, one of the two. And thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you then.
And we can replay this and see if he said Happy New Year.
Now we'll be quiet.
You did. You did.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Good night,
you.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.